Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, where the magic happens. My guest, Puja Shah, is here, and she is going to explain who she is, what she does, and how she can help you. So, Puja, take it away.
Thank you, Tammy. I love everything that we spoke about, and we connected instantly. Hi, everyone. I am Puja Shah. I am hailing from London, UK. And I connected with Tammy online, and we decided that we need to jump on a podcast and spill some beans here around health, healing, and everything about, how can we heal ourselves. That is my whole life. I have been a nutritionist my whole life. I have worked in hospitals before. I am not a doctor, but I have worked in the capacity of nutritionist. So I understand a little bit of anatomy, but not much. Until I figured there is a way to find out what is blocking our chronic illness from healing. That's what I do using muscle testing. I do it remotely over the phone with people around the world. My clients are based in Europe, US, Canada. We can work from anywhere with anybody because the belief is we are all connected.
Yes.
When we are working together, my job is to find out the symptoms that we are getting is not a body failing you. It's sending you a feedback. There is a message. I am just here to listen with my hands.
That is so powerful, Puja. So now, share how did you actually come into this world of energy healing
Yeah,
from nutrition? Because I get it because I was actually a nurse as well for 32 years, so I know coming from
that's
that world
awesome.
to this one is, it can be a little bit of a struggle because of all the
Yeah.
things that you've seen naturally. So share a little bit about, how did you actually get from there to here?
Sure, that's a great question. I have always been a big promoter of everything natural and everything as much as so if somebody was taking like, supplements, I would say let's go with foods first. So that was my approach. Even before I started studying nutrition, I knew I wanted to do something in the field of medicine and I wanted to make a difference in people's life. In terms of becoming energy medicine practitioner, I was literally virtually invited into this world to become one. So it started with my own health and my daughter's health, where we were given a diagnosis, a label to manage for the rest of my life. And we were told, this is your diagnosis, go home, and there's nothing we can do. You will end up managing this until you are alive. And this is where I started digging deep. Everything that I knew, the belief system that I was following, like how can I work on my belief, every single thing that I knew naturally and spiritually, I started working towards that because I wanted to get my daughter well and myself well. And I could not, find the solutions that I was looking for. Therefore,
Yeah.
I went on a hunt and I said, even though I cannot see what it is right now, there has to be something which is going to help my daughter and me.
Yes.
And I went on a journey of hunting for answers, which was so frustrating, so depressing. And in that
Yeah.
state that I was, I had zero help. Even though I have a lot of well wishers, I had zero help. And it took me 9 months to find out Best Healing Solutions, which is the company whom I work with right now as a practitioner. But I started doing sessions with them. We found out things like foods that were reversing us, and we can talk about that. We stopped certain foods. Replaced our laundry products. That was the first thing I started with. I never thought that could be something that could be, blocking me from healing, and it did.
Yes. Yes.
So these are the kind of things that helped me. I had to do a lot of forgiveness. There was a trauma that I was reliving when I was age 10. The same thing was passed on to my daughter by me unintentionally, and we had to do the same for her. So these are the steps that we took in order to get us better. And of course, I got curious, knowing from like the standpoint of spirituality and medicine, and I was like, we need to
Yes.
merge this because the world needs this. And I was like invited into this. I was into a totally different work environment. I was into finances before, and then like in between, like nutrition and energy medicine, I was into finances. And I was invited virtually into this world where Best Healing Solutions invited me, like, we need you. Would you be happy to join as a practitioner? And here I am doing my bits so that I can serve the world and add value to their life. Because I believe that if one person is sick in the family, the whole family's life
Mm.
and destiny changes. I am all about family, and our families matter.
Yes. That's so real. And the fact that you discovered this work because it was something that you had to heal within yourself and your child. To me, that's amazing. And I believe most people that I've talked to, this is exactly how they discover their work, like their life's work,
Yeah,
and it's amazing how that happens. For myself,
yeah,
um, I discovered it because I had to deconstruct from religion because
yeah,
they had ingrained it and just pushed it in us. But what I found was, even as a person that went to church, all my life, from
yeah,
probably my mother's womb, my grandmother was a pastor. And so I went to church pretty much all my life. But then what I realized was I was an unbelieving believer,
uh,
because when the rubber met the road and things started happening that I needed healing in my own body, not rah rah in the church, how oh, praise God, this person got their healing, not all of that,
yeah,
just me, what do I need to heal,
right,
and is God the person that can do it?
yeah,
So I started kind of going in that direction for myself, like,
yeah,
okay, I need to figure this out because I know that there is a God, but
yeah,
what these people are teaching me has nothing to do with, my life,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so that was kind of the path that took me down to really start diving deep into the energy healing work that I discovered that I already was in for many lifetimes.
Yes, it's just that we didn't call it that at the
Right.
time. We just
Right.
call it, yeah, I don't know what we used to call them, but we didn't call it energy. And
No.
energy is a very broad word. I think there has to be a better word, and I don't know yet what the word is, but I really
Yes.
like what you said about when there is chronic illness, when there are issues with finances or anything in relationships, etc., in our life, the
Yes.
question we ask is, what is this trying to teach me?
Yes.
What is the message in this for me?
Yes.
What do I need to know or vibrate at? The truth that we need to find. Because sometimes we might be living a lie. There
Yes.
is a list of 94 lies that I normally test my clients for. And there are lies, basically, these are false beliefs
Yes.
that might show up, is like something like, I am the only person in my relationship. It's a
Yes.
lie.
Yes.
And that shows up. It's not safe for me to heal.
Yes.
It's lie that shows up. Probably we felt like, when I am ill, people will take care of me. There is everybody around me, and that's the only way I get attention because as
Yes.
child,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So this is what
Yes.
shows up. So we test for like when like talking about chronic illness, because that's what I like to talk about, is there a secondary gain? What is this trying to give me in my life that I would not have otherwise?
Yes.
And if the moment we make that conscious, my clients go, "Oh my God, I know what that is." You know? Yeah. The only time my husband will do the dishes is when I have a headache.
Right.
The
Or if
only
I'm
time,
sick.
or I'm sick. Yeah,
Mhm.
headache is a small stuff because we are talking about chronic something, chronic migraines, chronic back
Yes.
pains, stuff like that
Yes.
for 20,
Yes.
30, 40 years.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we do. So whenever there is back pain, I often say in my social media, don't just think posture. Think about what are the emotions that's lying in there. And that is exactly what I do. I test, okay, this is something physical. And if it is related to posture or the structure, it will show up. The body will say, hey, yes, this is, not working. Look
Yes.
at C1, look at T7, lumbar, whatever it is, it will show up.
Yes.
And if we test, we might find, okay, this is also emotional.
Yes.
All the back pain clients that I have worked with, if I think of them collectively right now, that was to do with support. And
Yes.
if we feel that, yes, I do feel supported in my life,
Yes.
it could even be generational. My
Yes.
grandma never felt supported. And
Yes.
there is something in me that I have absorbed because I love my grandma so much, or maybe I just want to save my grandma. And I have that open door, and every single time something happens at workplace, my back starts to hurt. So I always look for clues like when does that show up, you know? And
Yes.
sometimes it's nothing to do with workplace, it's just an inhalant. They used some sorts of chemicals to clean the space and your body didn't like it and it's trying to process it. Just the back happens to be the vulnerability of the person. Therefore, it just goes and deposits in the back because there is a lot of emotion that we need to clear from the spine, the back, the discs, etc.
Yes. 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 That is some powerful medicine.
I love it. I
You
think
know,
probably
I
that's
mean,
what I should call it.
it
Yeah.
really is it because if you think about it, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of times people will look at say something chronic like back pain,
Right.
and
Right.
I can
Right.
speak to that because I deal with that. And so when I started
Oh,
identifying the patterns around it, then I
right.
could see and then also I could heal it. And let's talk a little bit about modalities.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of
Yeah.
modalities do you
And I
use?
love the word that you said, powerful. Um, sorry, I think we are lagging here a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah. It happens.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Powerful medicine, I would credit that to the body
Yes.
because the divine has made this body so well designed that it will always heal itself if
Yes.
we find out what's blocking it. So
Yes.
when we find what's blocking it, the body knows, okay, now I know how to deal with this. I can take care of this.
Yes. Yes.
So it's the body that's powerful. And again, our connection with the divine is what helps us to heal.
Yes, I truly believe that, and I know that, as we go through life, our body does keep the score. So our body remembers, when this happened before,
It
when,
does.
my heart
It,
flutters, these are the things that happens, or when I have goosebumps in the presence of greatness as I do now, I
yeah,
mean, it's like the body keeps the score and remembers.
it
And,
does.
and I can see that the work that you do actually helps people, to remember, because I tell people all of this stuff that we are even doing now. We've already done this. We're
Right.
just remembering right now. And I
Yeah.
know that it's the same with the body. It's the
Yeah.
same with, with the conditions because I went to the doctor and I had my labs done. And of course, my doctor comes back and she says, "Oh, you're pre-diabetic, because your number is this and blah, 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 blah." And I looked at her and I said, "No, I'm not." And so then she said it again. And I said, "No, I'm not." So she said it again. And I said, "No, I'm not," again. So then
Uh-huh.
I guess she got it after that. She left me alone. But
Oh,
the thing is I didn't focus on, the
yeah.
numbers.
The
Or I didn't
labels.
even
Yeah.
focus on, having the thing because whatever they say, doesn't mean anything to me if
Hmm.
I don't give it meaning.
Right.
So
Which
I
is true.
chose not to give it meaning,
Which is true. Yeah. Yeah.
which is true. And now my body has released some weight so
Uh-huh.
that when I went to have my labs redrawn, it
Hmm.
shows on the lab work that I'm not even pre-diabetic.
That's awesome. You
Right.
probably did some energy work there.
I did. I did indeed because
Yeah.
I hate when they say, "Oh, well, your grandmother has it, your mama has it, so and so has it, everybody in your family has it, so you're gonna have it." No, no, I'm not.
Well, here's the way we look at it. When there is a history, That's the fact. That is not something I like to deny.
Right, right.
However, what I like to, I know in my family, every single person has a history of blood pressure issues from a certain age.
Yes,
My
yes,
grandfather had diabetes since he was 17,
yes,
and it was type 1. So this is how I look at it. If he had that frequency in him, the chances are that his offsprings will have them. They will be born with it. The question is whether or not it will be expressed in this lifetime. And this depends upon our lifestyle, our thought process, energetically, how strong we are,
love
spiritually,
it.
how strong we are. All of this plays a role. And holding on to trauma from 15 years ago, whether we are aware of it or not, is a factor that I have seen will be
Yes,
expressed in the trauma. Okay,
yes,
something happened for me like when I was age 10, right? And then in my 20s or like in my 30s, something happened where it was a stress related to work. That was a resonating field, and this is how the diseases and the illnesses fires or they express in this lifetime.
yes,
Our job is, my job as a practitioner is to keep my clients' side of the street clear.
yes.
So
That
that's what, yeah, yeah. That's how I look at it.
and that is an amazing perspective, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
I
love the
think
way
that's
that you, yes.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
going to say, I love the way that you express that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
real, you know?
I love to simplify so that people can understand because when they understand, it's easier to adapt.
Yes. So I have a question. You work with the body's intelligence through muscle testing and energetic
Yeah,
regulation. So, how
right.
does listening to the body's subtle signals become an act of spiritual authority, especially for women navigating midlife reinvention?
Mm-hmm. That's a broad question, but that is something I deal with every single client, one phone call at a time.
Yes,
Depends on who is dealing with what, whether it is something on a spiritual journey, okay, I'm trying to end the suffering, or whether it is more on a chronic illness. I have this chronic illness and I have been dealing with this for 25 years. Or
yes,
it could be something to do with abundance. So, based on that, the answer changes because based on what caused it, we treat the symptoms, kind of. If it is a mold issue, the treatment changes. But if it's something to do with spirituality, this is how it works. So, is there a specific example that you have that I can use, kind of, so that we can display what we are talking about to our listeners?
yeah. I mean, if you could just take an example, say from one of your clients
Uh-huh.
that maybe was dealing with say something that the body was speaking to them, like if they
Okay.
had fibromyalgia or something like that, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I actually had a client with fibromyalgia, and she is in her late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started working together, she was doing all sorts of medications. Her lifestyle was pretty clean. I was so surprised that she was so aware of toxins and she was trying to keep away from them. And I always love that because their body loves that.
Yes.
When we started to work together, I started to muscle test her and find out, testing for this person, the fibromyalgia. So I don't necessarily say the word fibromyalgia because that's a diagnosis, that's
Right.
a label given to them. But then
Yes.
I am going in through, okay, what exactly does fibromyalgia look for you?
Yes.
What
Yes.
does that make you feel like?
Yes.
Oh, she's like, okay, I have this shooting pain in my shoulders every single day when I wake up. Okay, now that's what I like to hear because we want to find out what's going on in that field. If she would say, okay, this is what, so my testing helped me to find out, okay, this is a detoxification issue. There is the blockage in the detoxification system. Your body likes to get rid of certain toxins and it's not able to. And then we would find out why. This is where I found the trauma. She said that she was adopted and she don't know her, biological parents. She had to go through a lot of trauma because of that, even though she had good parents, but then from outside. And she described everything that she went through, and that was blocking her detoxification channel.
Yes.
So that is how it looks like for me when I am speaking to the field, to the body, like, and the body talks back, kind of. Yeah, I can't detoxify because this is what happened to me, age 3.
Mm,
Okay. Then we find out, okay, if that is the priority, we find out, can the body heal this? Can we clear this now? Do we have the energy to clear this? Is there something we need to support the body from outside, as in the supplements or certain products, or like herbs or something like that? So that's how it's kind of a detective process, and find out, do you have everything you need so that you can heal this? So
yes.
we say yes or no. So that's how it looks like when we dialogue with a person's field body.
So do you see yourself as a medical intuitive?
Um, I would say I am a good muscle tester. Um, Intuition is something where you just know, right? And sometimes that does happen on our team calls, as practitioners, every week we get together. And this is what the founder would say is, as and when you will muscle test, your intuition will improve. And I have sensed that over a period of time, even though I have been gifted. My mom has said that you have been intuitive whole your life. So within 2 minutes, I can say whether something's going to work or not. I told my husband a yes. It was an arranged marriage in 5 minutes, and I have never met him before. So my intuition just said, this is the guy. So that's how I have worked my whole life. In five
That is
minutes, I decided
amazing. Now that I love. I love that because you don't often hear it in that way. You know what I mean? Because most of the
yeah.
people are like, "Oh, it was an arranged marriage. I didn't love him, and this, and this, and that." But you're saying something totally different. Your intuition
Oh, yeah.
told you that he was the one.
Yeah, yeah. So medical intuitive is like the same.
I
I don't
believe
know
that
much
you are.
about.
That's why I asked that question because that's what it
It
sounded
could
like
be
to me.
something as a, I would say this, that I wouldn't call myself a medical intuitive, but then with the help of testing, I can find out whether if somebody is going through a knee issue, whether that is really a knee issue, or is it just the toxin buildup that, and that is something you test. I have worked with people with knee issue. They were going in for a surgery. We found out this is an emotional stuff. You need to talk to your brother. We haven't spoken in 30 years, no problem. Just hold your phone, just record a video and send it to him anyway.
Yes,
And the moment he decided that, guess what? His brother called him back. Never spoke in 35 years. It's just your intention that works. So, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, speak to the type of clients that you're looking for.
I would love to work with somebody who has tried everything and still haven't found that relief that you are looking for, is open for alternatives, because like I said, I am not a doctor.
Right.
However, I do work with my clients and they have team of other practitioners, doctors, and I consider them as a strong, like, I believe in doctors. I know how hard they work for your diagnosis. I
Yes.
believe in acupuncture therapists, naturopaths, chiropractors,
Love
every
them.
single person
Yes.
brings something to the table. It's like a
Yes.
piece of a puzzle. What
Yes.
I test for is, what do you need right now?
Yes.
What is right for you, and everything that they are doing for you, if there is an emotion stuck, let's clear that so that those treatments can work better.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's always a marriage. So I have worked closely with doctors and I have grown up with them, kind of, so to speak. But then, yeah, I believe in teamwork.
Yeah. I believe that just as you said, everything's a piece of the puzzle.
Right,
We're
including
working with
the team
you.
of God.
Yes.
Yeah, even God is part of that team.
I was gonna say, I always talk about my spirit team because I
Uh-huh.
believe that God is a collective,
Yes.
and I believe that all those across the veil are part of our team,
Yeah.
and then we have our spirit guides and, we have our
Yeah.
angels, our archangels, all these people that
Okay.
are part of us.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And I would just like to add for somebody who may or may not be a religious person or may not believe in God, that's okay too.
That's
Because
okay.
if we believe that there is something higher than us, I
Yes.
am a believer of God. I believe there is God. I invite
Yes.
God in every single sessions that I
Yes.
do.
Yes.
I don't think I am the one who does anything. I just think God is helping us, and the person's doing the major heavy lifting. My job is to find answers.
Yes.
However, if you don't, that's okay too. You don't have to. But I
Yeah.
would just say, even if you believe in the higher self or the
Yes.
universe or the divine energy, it's
Yes.
all the thing. Yeah, yeah.
It's really semantics. I think about it like this. I always tell people it's the God of your own understanding. So is
Right.
if you understand them to be God, source, universe, the one, my mother calls it the omni,
Mm-hmm.
what the one,
Yeah.
whatever it is
Oh,
that makes
yeah.
sense to you,
Yeah.
and I'm like you, I call them God. I believe that that they're a collective,
That's
and
true.
but
That's
that's like I said, that is something that
yeah.
I went to. And I believe that we give everyone else the grace to be whatever they want to be as far as that, because my
That's
grandmother
beautiful.
actually had a conversation with a gentleman that was
Mm-hmm.
Jehovah Witness. And my grandmother
Uh-huh.
was a Pentecostal preacher. Basically, she kind of toggled between some of like Reverend Ike stuff, and she actually got into like Louise Hay and, Wayne Dyer and some of these people, Abraham Hicks, before
Those
she
are big names.
passed.
Those are
Right.
big names. Yeah.
Right. So she got into them, before she passed,
Oh,
and kind of
yeah.
did a shifting, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
people didn't see it, but I did, and so
Yeah.
she kind of guided me as well. But she was having this conversation and she said to this person, she said, "Now your name is Robert, right?" And he said, "Yeah." And she said, "If I call you Robert, will you answer?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Your name is she called him his middle name, and he said, "Yeah, I answer." And then she called him his last name. He said, "Yeah, I'll answer." She said, "God is the same. It doesn't matter, what you call him. He's going to answer if you're talking to him."
That's true.
And I was like, wow, I was a teenager. And I was
Yeah,
like, wow, that was just so awesome,
that's
because he
true.
was all going on about how people didn't know, God was Jehovah and all this kind of stuff. And she was like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. What matters is your intention. Are you talking to
That's
God? Then they'll
that's
answer. Whatever you call them, Joe, Alice,
yeah. Yeah.
whatever. So that kind of taught me,
Yeah.
at that time,
Yeah.
just that little snippet. And I didn't realize until later what that really
That
meant for me.
that's beautiful experience. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
it was
And
awesome.
that's why it has stayed with you all these years and it will forever.
Exactly. And I explain it to people just like that because it just boggles my mind that people have all these arguments about, a name.
Yeah. Well, like they say, what's in the name?
It's like, okay, it's all right. So we're gonna
Yeah.
land this plane. This has been such an amazing conversation, I have to say that. And
Oh,
I'm so grateful that you took a chance to come on Straight Out of Savannah and talk about it. But I have to ask you the question that I ask all of my guests. If there was one thing in the world that you could change, what would that be and why?
so if there was one thing that I could change in the world is I would love for every single person under the sky to go out into the world with love, joy, and happiness. And I believe in serving others. That's one of my purpose. And I believe in adding value to other people's life. That might not be your purpose. Find your purpose and do it with love anyway. Not out of fear, not out of greed, not out of anything else. Just love. And that would be a parallel universe. And if that happens, I believe it would be a wonderful, beautiful place to live with that. in this world. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that because that is absolutely, I think that I don't think I've gotten that answer that out of all the interviews. I was trying to think so
Uh-huh.
far, maybe only three or four people said the same thing in over two or 300 interviews. So I always
Yeah.
listen to see, what people say because I think about it in terms of, how can we make this world better?
Yeah.
That kind of
But
was
just
my,
by feeling loved yourself, and if you have connection with the divine, like we were talking about,
yeah,
you will feel like you are loved. I could sense Tammy feels that she's loved. No
yeah,
matter the world around her, what they are saying, what they are feeling, if
yes,
they if you feel the same from them, that's a bonus. But feeling that connection will help you feel loved. And when
yes,
you feel that love, you will show up different. I can say. And working with mainly chronic illness, even when I was in hospital and even today when I work with people over the phone, I think that is the number one thing that helps people to even heal
yeah,
is, am I loved?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes, you are. Yeah.
yes. That
Yeah.
is, and that's what we need. It's like,
Yeah.
I always hear the Beatles song, all we need is love.
That's true.
Love is all
That's
we
true.
need. And it's like, okay, yeah, that is so real. And I think that I think that actually in this time that we're in now,
Yeah.
this is a polarizing time for us in the world. And
It
I
is.
believe that in this time, even, I believe that this time came for this reason. Because I
That's
don't
true.
know if you're seeing what I'm seeing. I'm seeing so many instances of people showing love to people that they don't even know,
Yeah.
doing
And
kind
kindness.
things. Yes. And that is
Yeah.
what I'm seeing. And that is
Yes.
it's what they showed me that we were going to have,
Yeah.
when we got through all of
Mm-hmm.
the stuff, the uh
Yeah.
the foolishness, let's say that, the fuckery. And when we got through all of that,
Yeah.
that's
It's
what the
hard.
end result was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say not just telling yourself that I'm loved or something, but if you
Right.
just want to take it a notch up and if you are a risk taker, I invite you to just vibrate at the frequency of I am love. I
Yes.
am love. It's not about whether you deserve it, you don't deserve it. No, that's we are talking some one step above it. I
Yes.
am love. You are,
Yes.
because you are. That's how God designed us human beings to be always together for each other. We were never designed to be isolated,
No.
and that's not even how our brain operates. The neuroscience has proved it, and yeah, yeah.
It's amazing when you think about it in that way because it's like, no, and I think that's why COVID was such ooh, a challenge. That's what for a
Well,
lot of people, just
that's
because
that's
of
how
that.
I saw this. I know it is a challenge, and I've seen and I've worked with, and there are people in our family whom we have lost to COVID, which is
Yes,
very sad, and I feel bad. However, for this is how I view COVID once it was over. It was an invitation
yes,
to look inside
yes,
and go inside, to take
yes,
that journey within us so that we can find our own self.
yes,
And I felt there was a shift in the consciousness after COVID.
yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was for me personally, it was a real shift because I
Uh-huh.
got long COVID and it has been very challenging. I mean, I had to like retire. So like I had to shift my whole life because of this thing that it challenged me in the way that I could not remember anything. Like I thought I was had early dementia. I was in my 50s. I'm in my 50s. I thought I had early dementia. I mean, it was so horrific when it started for me.
Yeah, yeah, it
And what
was.
I've learned through it is it was necessary because I needed to slow down. There were things that I needed to do as a healer
Mm-hmm.
that COVID helped me to understand.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a lot of compassion for people that I probably really didn't have um, at that on that level. And
Mhm.
so I really learned how to really be patient, not only with other people, but with myself. Because I was a person that did things really, really fast all the time. And
Yeah.
so, and I would get really, really frustrated with other people that were really, really slow. And so I had to learn that. And so in this gift, with this gift, I was able
Yeah.
to learn that and I was able to just, dial it back and actually,
Oh,
focus on myself, which is something that as a woman, we're not even taught to do that.
no, we're not. We're not.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So I
Yeah.
believe it and I think that it was this gift to humanity as well, for
I
the
love
exact same
I love
reason.
that story. I love that story, like how it, just it came in a bad way, but then you just took it in such a positive manner. I'm sure you would have done a lot of healing work, otherwise that would have never been possible. And I think that's the way to be. Like, what is this here for?
Yes, yes.
Sometimes, sometimes it's a blessings in disguise.
Yeah, I call it a gift in the garbage. You know, because it was,
Yeah,
it was all this stuff. To me, it felt like it was just dumped on me.
yeah,
Like one day I just couldn't fucking remember anything. I mean,
yeah.
it was terrible. Like I couldn't, and I still struggle with like names and stuff of people. I'm better, but I struggle with that, and that's something that I used to pride myself of, you know what I mean? Like I could always remember people's names. Years ago, before we had cell phones, I remembered people's phone numbers, all
Sure.
of this stuff. And so I'm like, okay. And then I realized that, some things I just don't need to remember. I
Right,
mean, I was like, you know what? Why did I keep all that stuff in my head? Maybe I
right.
didn't need to hold all of that.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
Yeah.
those were different
There are
energies
certain
that,
things we definitely don't. Yeah.
yes. So it's like,
Yeah.
maybe those were different energies that I needed to release. And so
Yeah.
when I started looking at it in that way, that's when I realized the gift of it. Because at first, I'm not going to lie to you, I was really upset and I
Yeah,
was
of course.
disgusted,
Yeah.
but because I said to God, I was like, well, why did it have to happen like this? I was looking at it, I wanted this thing to happen, I'm ready to retire, but I was like, I
Yeah.
wanted it to happen like this, blah, blah, blah. I want to walk off into the sunset. I don't want to go through all this crap. I don't want to be, exhausted all the time and, whatever. Because girl, it would be like I worked part-time. I would work 2 days. And after I finished working those 2 days, it would take me 2 days to recover from working those two
Oh,
days.
yeah, that's
So I
hard.
was like, and after a while it was like, okay. And then my husband was like, you don't need to do this. I got us.
Yeah,
You can step back, and you can do what you want to do.
exactly.
So
That's
for
the kind of
me,
freedom. Yeah.
right. But I
We
didn't
need.
I didn't think it was going to come that way. You know what I mean? Like how we do. We're like, oh no, it's going to come like this, and we're gonna, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like people that are looking for husbands. Oh, he's gonna just knock on my door from UPS or something.
We
I don't have
wish.
to go out. I don't have to meet anybody.
Yeah.
He's just gonna come in the mailbox. He's gonna send me a letter in the mail and tell me
Yeah.
he's ready to marry. You know what I mean?
True. That's true. I always say, like, when we ask for something, there are lots of vision board workshops and everything. We just write down, this is what I want. We put pictures. Be very mindful of first what we are asking for because it will be
Yes.
given. And second, we can never decide the way in which it will be delivered.
Yes.
So, yeah, because if we do, then we are too attached to the process, and that's
Yes.
not how it's going to work. So, yeah, just clearing that attachment. And I've seen this a lot in business. Like, I want this many clients, and then I want it only this way. And okay, I would say just detach from the process. Just
Yes.
keep the end goal in the mind and yeah, we do a lot of clearing on that too, like find out what is blocking your abundance, right? So that is
Yes.
something
Yes.
I've done with coaches, and yeah, and that has been awesome. And things show up, and they're like, okay, here it is. I always say, just bring your junk, because we are
Yeah.
going to clear it.
I'm telling
So,
you, and it's got to feel so fulfilling,
Oh, yes.
Seeing them, start here and then next thing you know that you cleared this and they're here and they can actually
The
okay,
clearing
so
that we
songs
do,
always come to me. I
what
was
I
like,
have seen is when we clear something, like if we clear one field, there could be another field that would just clear because of that. And I would have never thought of that, nor would my client. They're like, okay, now this is showing up different. I am showing up different to the
yeah,
world because we are changing the lens. We are changing the beliefs that we were living at. Like, I am not worthy. I am not lovable. It's not safe
yes.
for me to heal. It's not safe for others if I heal. So the kind of beliefs that show up during our testing and the kind of beliefs that we can clear, it's easy to clear, but we got to find them.
That is, I tell you. So is there something that you would like to leave for the audience, a gift?
Yeah, I actually have a healing intergenerational trauma using best healing solutions. It's a guide which talks about the types of traumas and the beliefs and illnesses that we inherit, like we were talking about, which is running in the genes,
Yes.
and how can we clear those at a cellular level so that we do not pass them on to our offsprings. And that was so important for me. I was like, I don't want to pass on my junk to my daughter.
No. Mm-mm.
So yeah, we call them cycle breakers. So just finding out what is it that's blocking us and then clearing them. And I've actually have a guide, a PDF, which I'm going to leave with Tammy. And if anybody has questions about everything that we spoke about today or for treatments, reach out to me directly on my email. It's Puja at besthealingsolutions.com. It's Puja at besthealingsolutions.com.
Awesome. And I'll have all of that in the show notes. So all of her things will be in there. So you can just click the links anywhere that you watch this show or listen, because this show will be on Substack. It is also on YouTube, and you can listen to it on all the podcast places, Apple, Google, Spotify, all of that stuff. So definitely check it out, and
That's
definitely
all.
check out Puja, because the work that she does is fire, especially
Oh,
in this fire season.
thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I can just see, I can feel the energy that you use to clear these things. And I know that people are just getting healed all over the world.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here and talking to
Okay.
you.
Yes, the honor is mine, and I'm so grateful that you
Oh,
took this time out to share with us. And if anyone would love to speak with Puja, her details will be in the show notes. So you can click all of those things and connect with her. And I'm just so grateful that she has chosen to show up here today
I'm grateful to be here.
in this amazing conversation, because, oh, it's so good. So, again, make sure that you are following her. I will have all of her stuff there. You can connect with her. Where is the best place to connect with you?
Um, in terms of social media,
Yes,
Um,
or
whatever
your
people
website.
prefer. Yeah, website Best Healing Solutions. I have my email there, or meetpuja.com, meetpuja.com has all my links and all my social media, WhatsApp, everything in there. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook works. So yeah,
Gotcha. Love it. All right. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah. This has been amazing.
thank you. Thank you.